What's up guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk all about money. My name's Adam Nelson and today I want to talk to you about the 7 things you need to know before you start day trading. But before we get into things, this video is sponsored by nobody. So if you could like this video and subscribe and share it with your friends, that would help me out so much. I'm just starting out here on YouTube, and so if you can give me some feedback whether you like this video or not, that'd be really helpful. So consider leaving a comment as well. Okay, without further ado, let's get into things. Now the number 1 thing you need to know about day trading is that it is gambling, plain and simple. To me, there's very little difference. And I know a lot of people think that gambling is just chance and no skill, whereas you can day trade and you can be smart about it, and if you're smart enough, maybe you can win and you can earn a lot of money. But I really don't think that's the case. If that were true, all the smart people would be billionaires, and they're not. Only some of them are. And the reason I say that is because unless you have some insider information that you're using illegally, or if you can see into the future, there's no way that you know what's gonna happen. And so it really just boils down to luck. Really, 9 times out of 10, I feel like you're probably gonna lose more than you win. So that said, if that's something that you're interested in, keep watching this video because I have a few more tips and tricks to help you not lose your money or your mind while you do so. Just a few years ago, I dabbled with day trading in cryptocurrencies, and I was using money that wasn't really out of my own pocket, so it was kind of monopoly money to me. And I'll talk a little bit more about how I did that in another video. Anyway, I was day trading and I became so obsessed with the amount of money that I was making or losing and watching the charts all day that it was really eating into my personal life, and I wasn't enjoying going out to the movies because I had to check my phone every 10 minutes to make sure that I wasn't losing all of my investment. And I also want to clarify that day trading stocks is not the same as day trading cryptocurrencies, but I think they have a lot of overlap. One notable difference between the two is that I think cryptocurrencies are much more volatile and therefore much more risky to dabble in. Okay, so that covers it for tip number 1, that day trading is gambling. Tip number 2, don't put more money into your day trading account than you care to lose. And what I mean by this is if you have $5,000 to your name, don't go and blow it by putting it all into your day trading account and trying to make it into more money. Yes, you may win, but you may also lose. And if you're going to be hurt by the amount of money that you lose from day trading, then you're day trading or gambling way too much money. And the thing that you can do is just decrease that amount. And so say you don't really care if you lose $100 and you can blow it on gambling. Well, then that's the $100 you can put into your day trading account. And of course you can do whatever you like, but if this were me, then that's how I would do it. For example, with this GameStop madness that happened recently, I had an extra $65 that I didn't care about. It was in my discretionary funds. And so I decided I would go and buy 1 unit of stock. And if it went up or down, I didn't really care because it was just $65 and I could afford that. And that small amount of money made absolutely no impact on my life. I knew I would be able to eat that night no matter what, even if I lost all the $65, and that all my other needs would be taken care of. And could I have put more in? Well, sure, but it was just a gamble and I realized that, and I didn't really want to gamble more than that. And one thing you can do that might help with this is come up with some sort of budget and stick to it. This might be like $50 a month or $100 a month, whatever you can afford, and don't put any more into that day trading account than you can afford to lose, and just stick to it. Gambling and day trading can be very addictive, and so you may be tempted to put more money in there than you can actually afford. So avoid this temptation and stick to your budget. Tip number 3, day trading is not how most people who are rich got rich in the first place. And I say that because it's very unlikely that you go and day trade and hit it big time and time again, enough to make it so that you are extremely wealthy. And I bring this up because before I had a deep understanding of investments and different ways that you can make your money grow with time and work for you, I always thought that those who are rich probably hit it really big in the stock market. But this isn't actually true, and I don't have the numbers to back it up or anything. But most people who are millionaires today are millionaires because they've been saving and working hard over a long term. And they've been wise with their money and they haven't gone and blown it all doing stupid stuff. And one of those stupid things that you could do with your money is gambling, which is day trading. So I'm not saying don't day trade, don't get me wrong, you can gamble if you want, I don't really care, it doesn't affect me. But I'm saying just recognize the risks. For me personally, any money that I want to day trade with comes after I put money aside for my emergency savings and for my retirement investments and for my basic daily needs. And any money I do put into day trading comes out of my discretionary fund that I've already got budgeted. Tip number 4, you need to know a couple of key terms, and the first one is pump and dump. If you don't know what that term means, go look it up online and figure out what it means before you start day trading. I'm not going to talk about it extensively here, but I do want to mention it. This is something that you especially need to be aware of before you start trading cryptocurrencies. And if you're interested in trading cryptocurrencies, well, I've got a video that you should watch before you start doing that as well. You can check that out either up here or over here. It's hard to know directions because it's backwards. Anyway, go check out that video as well. And the second term that you need to know is FOMO. This means the fear of missing out. And this is something that can really drive you to make decisions that aren't so wise just because you see a crowd of other people doing it as well. And you don't want to be left behind. You don't want to miss out on the millions of dollars that you could make. And so you make some poor decisions and you end up getting really hurt. And so there's also probably a ton of other content about what FOMO means, and I haven't made a video just about that yet, but I probably will in the future. Anyway, go look it up, learn what FOMO means, understand it well, and don't fall into that trap. And this tip is especially pertinent to those who have recently joined the Wall Street Bets subreddit, because there are so many people in there who are trying to build hype around certain stocks so that other people drive up the price and so that they make it rich, and so that these other people who don't know what FOMO is get caught up in this hype and lose a ton of money. And so be very cautious about following advice on the internet about investments. Except for this video, you can trust me. That said, I'm also not a financial advisor, I'm just a programmer, and I make these videos for fun and for entertainment and for education. And so do your own research, invest at your own risk, and I didn't tell you to invest. Okay, tip number 5, don't be afraid of taking your gains. If you make a great investment and you get really lucky and you make a lot of money, don't be afraid to sell that and take some gains. Now, the reason people might not take their gains is because they've seen a stock go up and up and up and it continues to rise, and they think for sure this is going to go up even more. But if I've learned anything from physics, it's that what goes up must come down. I think this applies in stocks as well. What I like to do, and I've gotten lucky like this a couple times, where I make an initial investment, say of $65 with GameStop, I'll use that example. And then what I like to do is if I make gains on that money, then I'll go ahead and sell the stock and I'll take those gains, and then that original $65 that I put in, I'll go ahead and take that out and put it back into my savings account, so I'm not even day trading with that money anymore. And if you can do this, then all that money that you have left in your investment account that you're day trading, this is basically just monopoly money, and there's no way that you can come out worse than when you first began. But that makes a big assumption. That assumes that you made profit on your initial investment, and that's not always going to happen. And so there is still definitely risk in investing. However, if you can pull this off like I have a couple times, then it just takes off so much of the stress of day trading. Really, I don't care at all about the money that I have in my day trading account because it's all, like I said, just monopoly money. Tip number 6, if you're just beginning as a day trader, there is no reason that you need to be buying and selling puts and calls. There's also no reason you should be shorting stocks or doing anything that's complicated. Basically, you need to keep it simple. Honestly, if you just buy the stocks when they're low and try to sell them when they're high, that's probably as much complexity as you should be focusing on trying to handle, because even that is much harder than it actually sounds. Now, if you don't know what it means to buy and sell puts and calls, well, even better, because again, you really need to just be focused on the basics. Try to buy stocks low, try to sell them high. I will just say though, that with buying and selling puts and calls, that opens up a lot more room to mess up. And there's one scenario where you can lose unlimited amounts of money. The risk is not bounded. Okay, tip number 7. Now, this is something that I really wish I knew before I started day trading or dabbling in trading cryptocurrencies a few years ago. If you look at the graphs after you make certain trades and you say, oh, I could have made so much more money if I had done this or sold then or bought then this isn't going to be a healthy thing for you. If you focus on all the money that you could have made by making the optimal trades at all the right times, by looking in the past, well, you're just gonna drive yourself crazy. And you're probably gonna discourage yourself and make yourself more hesitant and less likely to make good trades in the future. Now that said, this is something that I really struggle with, because if I had made all the right calls at all the right times with cryptocurrency, I would be definitely a multi-millionaire right now. And I'm not exaggerating. And that's something that I constantly keep thinking about in the back of my mind, and I don't really know how to get rid of it. So if I had known that beforehand, maybe I wouldn't do it as much, but I'm telling you now, try not to focus on how much money you could have made. Because most people can't actually buy at the very bottom of a trough and sell at the very top of a peak. This is extremely difficult to do. Okay, and tip number 8. I know I said there would be 7, but this is one that I just thought of. If you win once in the stock market and day trading, don't start to think that you can do it again. You probably haven't cracked the code or found a repeatable process that you can use to become wealthy. You should really just take it for what it is, and that's luck. If you make really great trades and you come out with a lot more money than you started with, then then you're lucky, you're not smart. On the same token, if you come out with a lot less money than you started with at the end, then you're unlucky, you're not stupid. Anyway, so that about wraps it up. Those are the 8 tips that I have for you if you're thinking about starting day trading. If you learned anything in this video or if you found it useful, then please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more videos like this and more videos about money in general, then consider subscribing as well. And let me know in the comments below, what stock is it that you're looking to day trade? Are you trying to buy Tesla or GameStop or something else? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, if you decide to go gamble, day trade, then I wish you the very best of luck. Thanks so much for watching this video, and until next time. Okay, so for those of you who stuck around to the very end of this video, I have a secret tip just for you. If you pretend that you have $1,000 and you go and look at the current prices of the stocks that you want to buy, write down the quantity and the price of the stocks that you pretend buy with this imaginary $1,000. Keep track of the prices that you buy at and keep track of the prices that you sell at. And after a week or a month, see if you actually come out ahead or not. And you can do this with 0 risk because it's just 1,000 imaginary dollars that you're pretending to trade with. And I think this is gonna help you understand day trading better than anything else I've said before in this video. And if it does help you, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, thanks again for sticking around, and until next time. Okay, tip number, I forgot what number we're on.